We had our first men in conjunction with the women's ministry, business and professional networking event where members of the church got together and we all carried out a small presentation about our respective business and profession. And once we complete the round, we had open floor where we meet each other and talk to each other on a more personal level. Whatever business pique your interest, if there's a service that you actually need right there, then you'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't know you do this, and I'm looking for this. So we had refreshments, we had prayer, we had a very in-depth social gathering among the members. And what came out of that event was a need for a church business directory. So that's what we're working on next, because a lot of people were excited that there are so many people in the church that offer service that they didn't know about. So now we want to make sure that it's readily available to other members who are looking for service and not knowing that it's available in the church. So our next project is to create a business professional directory for the church so that our members have access to it. And overall, it was a blessing. It was a positive turnout, and we give God thanks, because sometimes when you're trying to do something, just to have a positive feedback or positive showing just give you that extra oomph you need to continue moving forward.
Okay. That's wonderful, man. That's really good. And I would like to encourage you, Marlon, because as we know your story, you saw a need for men's ministry at your church and you approached them, and now that it's happening. And whatever challenges, the expectations has to be that is God's will and his will be done. But you did mention that there were some challenges. And just to be transparent, without giving details, what would you say some of the challenges you're facing so far?
The challenge I'm facing, I'll say, is pretty much engagement, getting men to engage in our meeting on the phone, because we want to meet every so often on the phone just to discuss our week, discuss our next event, strengthen each other, pray, any special requests. So just been having slow turnout on the weekly online meeting. So just engagement, I'll say, getting the men to engage more, right? So that's pretty much but I mean, I think staying with it and just keep pushing forward, eventually we'll get the breakthrough that we're looking for. But that's pretty much what I think is one of the major issues, just engagement from the men.
Oh man, that's a common issue we see throughout many men's ministry. I've joined another call with another director in one of the other unions, and that's the number one thing you would hear. Men are busy and or disengaged, so it's very difficult to get them to be involved. But the mere fact that you started, I think, is a really good thing. And as you said, you're being transparent. And I think this will encourage other ministries to know that when you start a men's ministry, it wouldn't be as women's ministry or other ministries, you know? So I think just keep, as you said, you just keep at it. I think I was going to ask, when you first started, I know you started with a meeting. Did you do any surveys to get their thoughts and feedback on how often they want to meet and what are the challenges they are facing, what they want to address, etc.?
Yes, I did. I did issue a poll just to see how frequent they'd like to meet. And yes, they did give our feedback, but even the poll itself, I would have appreciate a little bit more feedback than the numbers that I got. So that's pretty much just a little concern that the engagement is not as robust. So
I think we saw the same thing as well. I think we only had a 10, what is, no, 20, well, we had 25% of the men that we think would have submitted. And that's still a good sample size. What I would say is some of the things we discussed before that works is obviously promotion. Some people want to see something happening. So those videos and pictures you take, if you can get with communications, you can get with your website person, you can get with social media, to get away, let them know the vision that you would like to promote what you're doing and show pictures in front of these folks. If you have a newsletter, whatever you have, get a way to get it out. You post it in a WhatsApp group and keep at it, as you rightly know, because when you're starting something new that hasn't really existed, it takes a while for people to get to it. So I think you're doing a fantastic job. Keep at it, man, and God has a bigger purpose for you. And the thing is, even if you change the life of 2 or 3 men only, right? Or you create an environment that you guys form a brotherhood with 5 or 6 men for the first year. That 300, like in Gideon, would do so much more in year 2 and year 3 and year 4. So I think you're building the right group of people. So focus on those who are there. Advertise and talk about it. Show your success, despite how small it might seem. And I think overall, God is going to amplify your efforts, man. But just know you're in a more challenging situation, but it's doable. Most men's ministry are not as active as you think. It works because, as you know, I promote a lot. So maybe that's another thing we can talk about, or at least you can think about promotion. We did in-person promotion. We talked to men one-on-one. Every time I see a man, I would talk to them over and over again. I made it a ministry. We promoted via the WhatsApp. We promoted online. So a lot of that, too, is communication and making it a thing. So it'll take time. Obviously, communication is my strength. So I was able to utilize that. But it'll take time, man. Utilize your strengths, add some pieces, and then God will do the rest, man. So I appreciate you. May God bless you, man.
Thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate this call and the advice because it's timely. I appreciate that God is moving and He's working and He knows how to put the pieces together. And definitely, I welcome any and every advice and suggestion, since this is a young ministry in its infancy. And I'm looking for all the advice to help it grow so that it could reach its full potential. As you mentioned, if it's just 2 men life you change, they could impact hundreds. So that's a well said, well put nugget, and appreciate it, brother.
My final comment, I know we have a WhatsApp group. I don't know if you have time to look at some of those, but stay plugged into the HEM network and the Texas Conference group, because sometimes men are sharing different ideas and tips and tricks. But Marlon, keep pressing forward. You're doing a great work by God's grace, man. Blessings.
Thank you very much, Jason.